I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're a good team. Sorry, go ahead.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's obviously not the coaching because the coaching is putting in the right system for anyone that does step into this lineup to succeed. It's the players that are just they. I don't know. They got to figure it out.
Get the duck boats ready! Get the duck boats ready! After 39 long years, the cup is back home!
Black and Gold podcast brought to you by Boston Sports Syndicate. Hosted here by Michael Travers, and with me, I have Mr. WabbaPlays. Wabba.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Well, thank you for joining me, first of all.
I changed my
And also-
Skype background, so I'm feeling very creative.
Yeah, you look like you're enjoying, probably, it looks like you're at the high tops, the high tables there, looking down on the peasants below you. That's what
This
it
is
looks
where
like
I'd be if not for being in my bunker.
And also, we have Ryan Daly. Ryan, welcome. And I understand you're doing something a little crazy right now. What's going on over there?
I am. If you actually want to see Wabba sitting at Chili's, make sure you go and drop a follow over on the YouTube page. We will be bringing all of our podcasts to you live on the YouTube page, so you can see our ugly mugs while we talk Bruins hockey.
All of the Bleed Black and Gold podcasts, not all of the podcasts.
Right. Maybe
The
that
good
might
ones.
be down the line. You know.
There are some people that work at the Syndicate that you just don't want to see. You don't want to see them.
Yikes.
If only I was kidding. Anyway, it's been a long time since we last met, and we sat here and talked nothing but Bruins hockey. So I want to get basically I think it was it the start of the season, right after the start of the season. That's pretty much, so we have more than half of the season has now gone by, and a lot of things have happened when it comes to the Bruins. And I just want to get, first of all, your general thoughts, takes on the team at this point. Why don't we start with Ryan?
It's been a roller coaster of a ride, to say the least. There was one point of the season where I was like, this team cannot be beat, and they're gonna win the cup. And then there was another point where I'm like, this seems like I'm gonna make the playoffs. Like, I mean, I know there's been a lot of injuries, and I'm sure we're gonna dive deep into the injuries and everything else that's going on with this team. I mean, I think our last time we recorded was opening day, game 1. So we have 20 games left in the season. It's a 56 game season, so we got 30 something games to cover.
Yeah, we're basically right after where normally the All-Star break would be, I think. It's usually just over the halfway point of the season, so we're pretty much at where they also and the trade deadline is Monday. So we're right there. So it's getting down to, it's put up or shut up time, I would say, for the Bruins. But Wabba, what has been your thoughts so far on the season?
Bergeron as a captain is amazing. Pasternak is good at hockey. Trent Frederick is the truth. I love watching that kid play. And I don't know what's happening with their trades because it seems like they want to move people and then nothing happens. But
we'll talk about the trades.
Yeah, but I think the team's doing fine. So, fine. I would say I'm whelmed. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm whelmed.
Okay, so before I get mad at you, I'll tell you what I think about the season. I think so far this year that I'm more than anything, I'm thankful that we don't record on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, because I would look like an absolute moron. Because there was a like Ryan said, there's a part of the season where I would have came on here and I would have said, this team is the balls. They're never gonna lose. They're in every single game. They're tearing it up. The young kids are great. This is amazing. That the team's they're a contender. And then the next time we met, I've been like, this team sucks. Like what is happening? Like the young guys are making too many mistakes. Nobody can stay healthy. Tuukka Rask is a soft pile of poo. Like, it's just, I would just look stupid because it's just like it's just been up down, back and forth. Like good night, bad night, and there's no consistency in either direction. It's like they look horrible one night, they look great the next night. They look okay, then they look bad, then they look. It's like, just give me something. If you're gonna suck, just full out suck. If we're gonna be good, please be competitive in every single game. That's my first thought. My second thought, I am sick and tired of two things. the same 7 teams every single game is getting old. I'm tired of the Islanders. I'm tired of the Capitals. I'm tired of the Devils. I'm tired. Like I'm sick of the Flyers. I never want to see Sidney Crosby again. Like I'm just over the same players over and over and over and over and over, and the same teams. I thought it would be cool. I thought it would build rivalries and it would be cool. It sucks. It's brutal.
You don't like watching the double headers with the Rangers?
It's not fun. It's really not fun to watch. Like, watch a Bruins Islanders game and you cannot look me in the face, either one of you right now, and tell me you would not fall asleep during a Bruins Islanders game. It's the most boring hockey, and we've now seen it. It feels like 60 times. How many games have they played? 40? 30? It feels like we've seen the Islanders 18 times. It's like every time I watch the game, Islanders. Oh, no, comes another 1-0 game, 2-1. Great, great, awesome. This is so much fun. And Matt Barzal should be a Bruin, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. Sick of the same teams. Also, Jack Edwards, hate him, over it. Want nothing to do with Jack Edwards, and that's where I want to start and ask you, both of you, how in the world is this guy, one, allowed to be on TV? And 2, not been suspended, fined, this is a cancel culture. How has he not been canceled? That's what I want to know. Did either of you hear the other night? Hold on, let me adjust this a little bit. What's up, everybody? The other night, I don't remember what game it was. He was talking about how someone pummeled another player, and it reminded him of when the day he finally became bigger than his sister and tackled his sister and wrestled her to the ground. Did either of you hear this? This happened.
No.
This was real. Go back. This is that was a real thing he said on a live microphone. I think it was Trent Frederick, honestly. He was talking about how he wrestled somebody to the ground. He's like, Trent Frederick reminds me of the day that I got bigger than my sister and pinned her to the ground. And Brickley's like,
poor Brickley.
Well, no, this was his response. Hold on, let's let 5 seconds of dead air. And then Jack continues calling the game. It was the most awkward thing. Neither of you heard this? I'm really the only one? Oh my God, look it up. Google it.
It's gonna cringe so much. I can't.
I hardly ever listen to Bruins games. I kind of like listening to the other teams to see if it's just, recency bias, just seeing how much of a homer Jack is, or if the other teams are just as homers as Jack is.
No, it's him. It's him.
Philadelphia is pretty bad. If you watched a Philly,
I guess
I was listening to I was watching the Philly feed on, what was that, Tuesday night, and literally like the Bruins scored the go-ahead goal, and the announcer was like, and goal. I was like, wait, excuse me, did I catch that right? Did they score? Oh, so the Bruins
it's
scored.
Like an inconvenience.
Yeah, it was like in mid conversation, it was like Bergeron's coming down and goal. It was like somebody just let the air out of his balloon. Like it was just the saddest day of that gentleman's life. Like I was
truthfully, I'd rather take that. You've listened to the Bruins on the radio and Judd Surratt and listen to his goal calls. Oh.
How do you love Judd Surratt and Bob Beers?
How do I not like? I love Bob Beers.
I love Bob Beers.
I love the color guys here. Honestly, I love me some Andy Brickley. I love Bob Beers. But you let Dave Gosher go. You don't bring him on the TV. Mistake. And you let him get off the radio. Mistake. And you hire Judd Surratt. Now, I'm gonna ruin listening to Bruins radio. I don't know why. I don't know if it's I listen to them a lot on the radio, or maybe I just used to drive a lot, so I used to listen to Judd Surratt a lot. And his goal calls are brutal. Like the way he says score is I don't even want to do it because I just don't want to hurt your ears.
Midwestern accent. He spent all his times doing the Chicago Wolves games that he's got that Midwestern accent that it's just, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Brutal. And the other thing, if you listen and like actually listen, like as you hear the play developing, like he'll be calling the play out and he's so far behind what is actually happening. And you don't notice it as much now because there's no live crowd. If there's a live crowd, you can hear them. There's like a big save or a big hit. You can hear them cheering, and he's still telling you about how they're just entering the zone. But it happens on like when a puck hits the post or if they score and the goal horn goes off. He's still calling the play out, and And if you like close your eyes and you're just listening to him, they're like just entering the zone as they've made 3 tic-tac-toe. In real life, they made 3 tic-tac-toe passes and scored, and the goal horn's going off, and he's just telling you about how they're just entering the zone, and then he just like rushes through to try and catch up, and then he does that horrible score. It's awful. It's bad.
It sounds like a Twitch delay.
It really is.
It
It's
does.
bad. I'm ruining it now. You're gonna notice it. It's like the little ticks that you hear. You're now gonna notice it. You're not gonna be able to listen to Bruins on the radio. I'm sorry, but that's what I've noticed. Oh, that's where we're at with Bruins hockey. Is I'm complaining about the announcers because they're so bad. To Wabba's point, Trent Frederick was one of the points that you wanted to talk about. Yes, look at him smiling, thumbs up.
He's so I like him.
Go ahead. No, tell me all about how much you love Trent. Please go ahead.
All right. So
Tell me
obviously,
why.
you both agree. Obviously,
I'm gonna wait.
I don't even need to ask.
Go ahead.
I like that he fights people. I like that well, okay, when I say fight, I mean he tries to. I love it's just funny how you have this kid who goes up to Ovechkin just hits him in the nads, and it's like everyone's like, oh, what a badass, and I'm like, you know what, that's just fun to me. I don't know. He's like a fan favorite now. I just enjoy watching him, and yeah, he's. I made a Trent Frederick shirt on my store, and it sells on Google. So shout out Trent.
You know, I actually just Googled Trent Frederick, and the first thing that pops up is fight shirt.
That's my dude.
Legit.
So shout out Trent Frederick. Thank you very much. Don't sue me.
Come on the pod, Trent. Come on the pod.
But no, I think he's fun to watch, and I feel like he's obviously not he's not, what is it, Kaprizov or whatever Minnesota has. He's not lighting it up like that. I just think he's entertaining to watch, and the fact that he's lasted longer than Studnicka, who I think just got sent down, very interesting to me, because I thought Studnicka was the next big thing, and maybe he is. I just don't think we have center space, so maybe when Krejci's gone, he'll get his big shot. But the fact that Trent's staying up there, I don't know. That's cool to see. I feel like we haven't seen that in a while, because the last, Charlie McAvoy. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but then you had DeBrusk, who's been kind of middling, and it's I don't know. It's just nice to see. It's fun. It's been fun to watch, at least for me.
Ryan, do you have anything to add before I burst this bubble?
No, go ahead.
Trent Frederick is everything that's wrong with Boston Bruins hockey. And let me tell you why.
All right,
let me tell you why, okay? Okay, you'd think with a guy this is Trent Frederick is the kind of guy that Bruins fans get all hot and bothered about. Why? He's gritty, he's tough, he fights people. He only has 3 fights all year. 3. Oh, he fights everybody. You can't get through a game without him fighting. 3 fights all season. Huge fighter. Okay?
2 of them against
so
Tom
tough.
Wilson, aren't they?
He's so no, one of them was against Tom Wilson.
I thought he fought
one.
twice.
No, two.
We lost Mike.
The
If you're watching on YouTube right now, it's gonna be a great freeze frame.
I know, right? This is dude. Trent Frederick heard and he beat up his ISP.
Yeah, right.
That's what you get. That's what you get. Oh, you froze.
Oh, he's back.
No,
It's gonna make great.
Everything was frozen. Everything was frozen. I just come back and hear you screaming. No. So I'm being serious. He all this hype around this guy, Trent Frederick. Everyone's all hyped. Everyone's all psyched. Dude has 5 points. 5 points. That's what we're getting excited about as Bruins fans. This is how long is it going to take Bruins fans to realize that this is not the 90s? This is not the big bad Bruins of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, who by the way, the 90s team sucked. They're so tough. Oh, they fight everybody. They went to the stands and fought. They sucked. All those teams sucked. And this is what we're getting excited about. A guy who, by the way, the one good thing about him is those videos that they release after games where he just chirps literally everybody. Those are amazing. Even though he sounds like Mickey Mouse, those are amazing because he's Brad Marchand level chirper. Horrible player. Oh, he plays with such toughness. No. You just like him because he hits people. That's not the kind of player that I'd rather see Studnicka. He's a skill player. Give me more of that. Give me more Studnicka. Give me more skill. Enough with this big tough guy, man. Please, that's not the NHL anymore. So Tom Wilson is a quote tough guy in the NHL. Am I wrong?
It's a goon.
Okay, he's a goon. The dude has skill. That's what makes Tom Wilson so interesting. Is the guy has skill. The guy can score. The guy can play. He's not just a big body running around hitting everybody.
No, I mean he does that too, but he is on the first line with Ovi and Oshie.
The dude,
No,
okay.
Ovi
Trent
and
Frederick
Backstrom,
is
I
a
think.
fourth line grinder.
No, I don't know. I mean,
Take a guess. Take a wild guess. How many points Tom Wilson has this season?
God,
32.
40.
Close. No, not 40. Come on.
I don't
What is the
know.
legal-
Like you did take a
It was like
wild
high
guess and then
20s,
you
low
judged me
30s.
for it.
23. There's 23
Okay,
points.
maybe I was off.
23 points in 30 games. I take that guy 10 times out of 10 over 36 games played, 5 points. And he has less penalty minutes than Trent Frederick. Well, what do I know, right? I mean, Trent Frederick, yeah. Let's make him a
He
t-shirt.
also has a 7-game suspension under his belt this season as well.
That's great. Like,
I don't know if
Again.
you want to dive into that one. You want to dive into that hit on Carlo, that gutless hit on Carlo.
agree.
I'll pull out the Jack Edwards right here. You know, the gutless, you know, POS shouldn't be in the league.
Yeah, okay. And this team employs Brad Marchand. Am I correct or am I not? But I'm not agreeing. I'm not agreeing with the way that he plays the game, because he plays on. I mean, that player plays on the edge, but at least he has skill. He's not Trent Frederick just walking around. He's just skating around, just hitting people because he can't do anything else. Like he's a skilled tough guy. That's the new tough guy. Give me a tough guy that has over 20 points already this season. Give me that every. Did Sean Thorne ever have 20 points in a full length season?
Probably.
Lucic.
No, he did. No, he did. But not many. But not
Like
many.
a Lucic back. You know.
No. But Lucci's, again, is the same type of player. Oh, he's so tough. He hits people. He has some skill. Not much, but some. More than Trent Frederick.
You just hate on the things that people find are fun. You know.
That could be true.
It's
He
a
just
short
hates on the
season.
things you like, Wabba. That's all.
Oh my gosh! Always, I'm surprised he's not like, dude, Applebee's is better. But it just, I don't know. For me, does he have the points? Probably not. I just think he's fun to watch, and I don't know. I think especially with everything that happened last year, and I will say I felt disappointed that they didn't go farther. Which I know. I mean, there's other things going on there, but it's fun to see, and I like when we have people come up and people get excited about them, and they're fun to watch. And we're seeing that a lot this year, whether it's defense, forwards, and now goalie. And it's fun to root. It's fun to root for them to do well.
I mean,
It is. But you know what you need in order to win? Anybody. How do you win a hockey game? Can anybody tell me?
I think John Madden said if
Defense.
you score more points than the other team, you're more likely to win.
Correct. Yeah. So 5 points. Yeah, that's really going to help your team win. Yeah, I would much rather take a guy who can score than a guy who just runs around the ice like a chicken with his head cut off, hitting everything and then chirping them. Like
That's how I play. That's why I relate to him.
Call me crazy, but I would prefer wins. I don't know, and goals and points, and I don't know, call me crazy. I don't know.
It's unreasonable, but I agree to disagree.
I would say that the hottest topic right now has to be the impending trade deadline coming out. I want to say it's Monday. I feel like that's correct.
the 11th, which I think
Which
that's
would
Monday,
be
right?
Sunday. The 11th is Sunday. Yeah. So I want to say I could be wrong, but I want to say it's Monday. And I guess my question is, or I guess the only question is, what do you want the Bruins to do? Like, do you feel they're in a position to go for it? What do you see the Bruins doing, and what do you want them to do? I guess is the better question.
I mean, I think the biggest question is who's out there that they can get. Paul Mary was kind of the one piece that I think would have fit great in with the Bruins, and I mean he just got dealt to the Islanders, so for a bag of pucks
in the division. Paul Mary and Zajac inside the division. I wonder if that's so they didn't have to quarantine.
They're throwing for a pick.
Or if that's why they didn't have to. 2 players and like 3 picks. It was a bag of pucks, but it was a decent size. It was like a double bag, like a double size bag of pucks. Maybe like one of those
Islanders 2022 first round pick. which I mean that's going to be what in the
It'll be the
20s.
it'll be at the back end of the first round.
Right.
Still, I mean, still a first rounder, but it'll be at the back end of the first round for sure.
Yeah, back end first round. You won't see that player for at least 3 to 4 years.
Correct.
Well, look at all the teams who are bound to have a fire sale. Probably most prominently is everyone's talking Buffalo. Where's Hall gonna go? Where's Eichel gonna go?
I don't want him. I don't want.
But
Hall.
I'm just saying, like those, those are the who else is having a fire sale these days? Like those are the teams that we got to look out for.
Detroit could have a fire sale. The Ducks could have a fire sale. The Kings could have a fire sale. Senators, they have all young players, so they probably aren't going to sell too much. The Flames could trade off some pieces. The Canucks could trade off some pieces.
You don't want the Canucks right now.
Not much. I mean that's the thing
COVID.
is there's not many players that are worth. I mean, maybe the Stars, they're at the bottom of the league, and they've got some players that you might look at, but
the Stars though, they can make a run. I mean, I think they have the least amount of games played in the NHL right now, and they can make.
They didn't play for
run
2 weeks. They didn't play for they missed 2
Right.
weeks of the season, so yes, they could.
So I mean, it's like that's also tough to with the whole COVID protocol this year. There's a lot of teams that are behind the 8 ball with games played. That is like, okay, maybe if we did have our full season, and like maybe we'll have a better idea where we stand. Like the Bruins are what 5 games behind or 3 games behind, like Washington and like Pittsburgh, and like they could easily make up those points and leapfrog those two teams. So it's
they're 3 games behind Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and the Capitals. The only team they can catch
6 points.
The only team they can catch is the Penguins. So they would slide into, at this point they'd slide from 4th to 3rd.
And then you see the Islanders first round.
Yeah, and get swept again. Another more games against the Islanders. Great, awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. Well,
who would you rather see, the Islanders or the Capitals right now?
Oof.
Is miss the playoffs an option? It just sounds so bad, but me personally, I'm over the season. Like, I'm over playing the same teams. I thought it would be cool. It sucks. It's boring. Yeah. And it feels like another lost season. Like, realistically, this team's not beating the Capitals in a 7-game series. You're not beating the Islanders in a 7-game series. So you're out in the first round. Those are probably going to... Do you beat the Penguins in a 7-game series? If they can figure out their goaltending, the answer is no. If the Penguins can figure out their goaltending, no. Right. You do not beat the Penguins in a 7-game series.
I mean, it all depends. I mean, it depends on the Bruins goaltending as well. I mean...
Yes, it does. It does. And it depends on health. The big thing is health.
Yeah, I mean, if the Bruins have their full health team that when they were on that run in the beginning of the season, I think they could beat any team in a 7-game series. But right now, nobody can stay healthy. You can't. I mean,
I honestly don't see them beating the Capitals, and I don't see them beating the Islanders. The Islanders are better than them at their own game. That's why it's so tough for the Bruins to beat the Islanders. They play the exact same game. Right. It's a defensive style, collapse to the net, everything stays to the outside, flood the middle, take away lanes, take away shots. I'm boring myself just talking about it. But the Islanders are better at it than them. And they have more depth. They have way more depth than the Bruins have. And I don't, so that to me, if I'm looking at it, and this is me saying it, you can disagree, but either of you can disagree, feel free. But I don't see them beating either one of those teams in a 7-game series. Therefore, to me, you're out in the first round. It's another wasted season with this core, with the Pastrnak, Marchand, Bergeron. Wasted. Absolutely wasted. You have, I don't want to get going on it. Your thoughts on it?
It's tough too. Like Big Country said, it's depends on goaltending. Like Tuukka, I don't know what the extent of his injury is, but he's been out for a bit. So then you have Halak. I think Halak's a good goalie, but we saw what happened in the playoffs. And again, that doesn't all fall on him, but is he the guy? You can definitely lean on him, but is he gonna win you those games, win you those series? And then you have I forget his name. He's played well his first game, but is he gonna be the one?
Swayman or Vladar?
No. I don't know.
Either one. I mean, they both.
But it's like iffy. They don't have a lot of experience, and once you get to the playoffs, I feel like it's so intangible, but having that experience is going to help you. And if you don't have that, I think you're at a disadvantage. How much of it? I don't know, because I don't actually play real hockey. I play fake hockey. But that's just my thought looking from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do anything, you need Tuukka Rask. Halak's not the guy. Swayman, Vladar, they're both young. They're not going to be the guy. You need Rask. You need Rask healthy. You need Rask engaged. You need Rask playing at the top of his game if you're gonna make any noise. Even with him, that Capitals team is damn good. So are the Islanders. They're both good teams, and I don't know. It just and so it gets back to the question of what do you want the Bruins to do. And honestly, with the direction that they took the team this year, moving on from Chara, letting the young guys play, letting Stanika play, Frederick play, Lozon play, I would sell. And call me crazy, I would sell. I would punt on this season because I don't think you're even getting out of your own division. Never mind what they would play the Central, I think. Never mind what the Panthers are doing. The Lightning are in that division. I would punt. I would sell Krejci. I would sell on Nick Ritchie. I would try and get rid of DeBrusk. I would sell. That's honestly what I would do.
I mean, you definitely can move on from DeBrusk. I mean, maybe I need to stop ripping on DeBrusk like I did Ritchie, and he'll stop playing better. Because, geez, man, am I eating crow from ripping Ritchie?
Oh my God, we were not up on Ritchie, and then all of a sudden he's like the truth for like a good month.
He's on one of my fantasy teams. That's how I don't want. I mean, it's a deep league, but that's still how good he's been. I mean, you talk about a big player. Still less points than Tom Wilson. As good as he's been, less points than Tom Wilson. Just saying.
It also does hurt me to say it's time. Well, because Krejci's going to be expensive next year, so they might not bring him back.
Oh, he's not coming back. He's not, and he shouldn't be coming back.
This is the time, and I hate saying that because I get attached to these players. But
you're right now. The only good thing I would take I'll take out of the season is you're seeing the future of the Bruins. Tuukka and Halak. I mean, I really can't see. I mean, the way Vladar and Swayman have been playing, I don't think Halak is going to be back. I think Tuukka might retire.
Retire?
So, I mean, they're both Halak and Tuukka are both done with their contracts at the end of this year. So now you got Swayman.
I don't think he's going to retire.
I don't know if these injuries keep popping up and he keeps having issues like he's doing. He said, I mean, we've heard this from everyone, a lot of players over the years, but he said he didn't want to play for any other team but Boston. But
yeah,
I mean, do you think
Tom Brady?
Yeah, but you think he's gonna? I mean, I'm sure he'll probably. It all depends on money talks too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's gonna. He's 33, 34. I don't think he's done. Like I mean, unless he's got a major injury and that causes him to retire, then maybe. But I don't think he's going to retire. And you nailed it though with the young guys, and you're seeing it right now, currently as we speak with the goaltending. You're seeing Vladar and Swayman. They're stepping up. They're playing. They're getting minutes. They're getting games, and they've been good. And then you see the defense with Zaboral and Lozon. I mean, I guess Carlo, if you would consider these guys still young, Carlo, Grzelcyk, Mac, like the future looks good right now for the Bruins. Yeah, and that to me is all the more reason why I would try and punt on some of these veterans on the Krejcis and I don't touch the quote unquote perfection line, but you maybe try and move on from Craig Smith, who's been a dud this season. Maybe you see what you can get, if anything, for the hometown kid Charlie Coyle, who's been a dud this season.
Yeah, he's having a tough year.
But I mean, pretty much everybody, to me, outside of the top line, has been a dud all season, and except for Ritchie. But you go down the list, and it's every year you feel like the team has so much promise. Anders Bjork should take the next step. This guy Jake DeBrusk should take the next step, and they just don't.
Yeah.
They just don't. So maybe it's time, you know what, move Krejci for I don't know, a bag of pucks, but at least it's a pick. Not going to probably not a first round pick. Probably not a first round pick, but maybe it's a second round pick. Maybe maybe you can get Richie out of here for a second round pick or a late first, because if you're trading him to a team that's competing, it'll be a late first, but
yeah,
still better. And you can add even more young depth. Something that I don't know. I'm punting on the year. And who knows, maybe I eat my words there, but that's how I'm looking at it.
I mean, what the Bruins really need is consistent secondary scoring, which they haven't had all season, and
all season, all decade. When's the last time they had secondary scoring? 2013 when they went to the finals?
Yeah.
It's almost 10 years ago now.
I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, we thought, Andre Kasha, the guy made of glass. Like, where the hell has he been all season?
Hurt.
I mean, what did he get hurt with? Like, he played, 2 games?
Stomach.
Upset stomach?
Yeah.
Watch, it's gonna come back as something serious, and you're like, "Oh, damn."
No, it is something. Let me look it up. I don't keep talking. I don't remember what it is.
I mean, it's just like he was supposed to be. He came in, was supposed to lead the team in shots, and I mean, he's played maybe 5 games between the bubble and this season for the Bruins, and I'm overshooting it. I don't think he's even played 5 games.
He's played 2 games.
Yeah, see?
2 games, 2 shots. He got hurt in the second game.
And those were 2 good shots, though.
Do you remember them both?
Like it was yesterday. Those are shots I'm going to tell my grandkids about.
Yeah, right? 2 shots. I mean,
it's too bad, but I think it should be kind of obviously, I'm the more casual fan here, the more unrealistic Trent Frederick number in the rafters. You left his name off the list of the future, too, I know. But I
was mentioning skilled players. That's why.
I have hope. Are they going to make a deep run and go for it all? I don't know. But I think that there's still opportunity to not sell everything. I think they can sell some pieces. Unfortunately, and I said fortunately because I like him, I agree with Krejci because he's gone. So maybe you can try to get something for him, move Studnicka in, and or coil up or whatever they want to do.
Coil's blown chunks on the third line. If you're trading Krejci, if you're trading a top 6 forward, you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. You're a seller. If you're trading a top 6 forward, you're a seller. It doesn't matter the situation. But what that tells me is that it's not worth risking losing Krejci for next season. I'm trying to get future assets because I know I'm not going to re-sign him. So you're punting on the season. So you're agreeing. In a way, you're agreeing with me.
In a way, but I don't know. I think they can still do it all the way. I don't know, but I still have faith. I haven't lost that hope yet.
As they go up 3-0 against the Caps now.
Yes! Take that, you cowards!
Oh, what a goal.
Oh, you hear that? We're going to the Cup, boys!
But again, first line, Marshy with the goal. I mean, we're recording this right now as the Bruins are playing Washington.
Oh
but
my gosh, dude! If
who's got the goals tonight?
I apologize right now.
I won't apologize.
Our defense has more goals than our secondary scoring. Like,
you're not wrong. You honestly might not be wrong tonight. Definitely because Lozon scored the first goal.
Yeah. I don't remember who scored the second. And Marshy
Anton Bleed. Talk about depth scoring.
Follows me on Twitter.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Shut up.
Well, now I have to change the whole narrative. The Bruins have so much secondary scoring now. It's unbelievable how much secondary scoring that they have.
God, I thought I was the seller. I thought I was the sellout here. I will say, if Chara wins the Cup with the Caps, I actually might start watching soccer. I don't know if my heart can handle that. Just to think, once you were saying, like, can they beat Washington? Can they beat the Islanders? And they're both good teams, and I can't handle that. I can't handle Brady winning and Chara winning on different teams in the same year. Someone needs to stop them.
Call me crazy. Go ahead. I think it might be the Maple Leafs year. Dude.
Yeah, they don't have to play Boston in the playoffs.
Exactly. They don't have to go through Boston. They don't have to go through
you're
Boston.
Serious? Oh.
I'm dead.
Oh, I thought that was a take. Oh, okay.
No.
So
they don't have to play Boston. Literally, Boston is Toronto's kryptonite. Yeah. And because of the alignment of the divisions, like, if say Boston gets hot, everyone gets healthy, and they go on a run, Toronto wouldn't see Boston to the conference finals.
Cup finals.
Conference finals.
Cup finals.
Is it cup finals?
Cup finals, because at the beginning of the year, the whole thing was you could potentially see a Bruins Canadiens Cup final. So they're in the same division as the Canadiens, which tells me that it's the Cup finals.
Interesting.
And they're the best team in the league right now, by the way. I don't know if you know that, Wabba.
Jack Campbell.
They're the best team in the league right now. Jack Campbell's 10-0 in his first 10 starts with the Leafs.
Jack Campbell, the truth.
Do you think he's for trade?
Talk about yeah.
do you think they'll want Krejci for him?
Yeah, definitely. And talk about young talent over there. Like they were bad for years and years and years, built it up, and now look at them. Their biggest, the Avalanche too. That's another team that's tearing it up. But do the Bruins beat the Maple Leafs in a 7-game series? Do the Bruins beat the Avalanche in a 7-game series? They beat
Colorado,
the Knights.
no.
Avs,
Toronto.
no.
They beat the
I'd say
Knights.
yes.
They beat the Knights. They beat the Oilers. They beat the Oilers. Like you see my point. Like there's got to be a dozen teams I don't see the Bruins beating in a 7-game series. The Lightning, the Panthers.
Dude, Panthers are scary right now, man.
The Hurricanes.
Yes.
Like all of these teams are
beating
arguably
the Hurricanes.
better than the Bruins. Yes, I'm sure I can see them being the Hurricanes, not the Lightning.
I see the confused look on your face about the Panthers.
Yeah, when you said Panthers, I'm
the Panthers are like, besides Jack Campbell literally putting Toronto on his back and carrying them to 10 straight wins, the Panthers are the next hottest team in the NHL currently.
Another team. Oh, they just lost their captain in Ekblad.
Yeah,
so that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
But he
sure.
potentially could be back for the playoffs.
Yeah. And the
I don't know why
the Lightning are gonna get what's his name for the Kucherov for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So like, it just, to me, I'm still punting. I'm punting. I'm calling the Panthers, seeing if they might want Krejci. I'm calling. I don't know what other team. Seeing if they might want to take David Krejci off our hands.
Trade Krejci for Patrick Laine.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. But
talk about an absolute.
I would say see if they want to get a seasoned veteran defenseman, but your most veteran defenseman is
Carlo. Kevin Miller, technically.
John Moore.
Who's on the
he's
IR.
great. He's
John
great.
Moore.
They would love him there.
Jared Tenorti. Oh no, it is Kevin Miller. Kevin Miller, you're right. Scrub. Like you have to trade out forward pieces. You don't have anything defensively.
No.
Maybe try and trade Rask if someone's stupid enough for that. Maybe a goalie gets hurt or a GM catches amnesia or something. I don't know. Like I don't know. They're kind of in a bad situation. They don't have enough talent to win, and they don't really have a lot of pieces to sell. The more I look at it, they're just stuck as a middling team. That's not a good place to be.
Any given Sunday or Thursday, whatever.
See, but that's not that doesn't apply. That doesn't apply in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
You know, like make the Bucks and the Chiefs play a 7-game series for the Super Bowl. You think the Bucks win that? Probably not.
That's too much football. I couldn't even get past that. But no, I know what you mean. I don't know.
A 7-game series is half the season, by the way. That's half a football season.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is too bad, but I don't know. As a fan, I'm still optimistic. There's going to be a big few days though, because we're going to find out what's going on. Like you said, like, are they punting or are they going to just see what happens?
I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're going to see the same exact team come April 12th.
No. This is what's going to happen. There's going to be all this hype. Like the Bruins are going after Taylor Hall. The Bruins are going after Jack Eichel. The Bruins are absolutely going to be in the trade market. Absolutely going to happen. Bruins get Darren Helm from the Detroit Red Wings. That's what always.
Bring on Helmer.
And then everyone's just gonna eat it up, and then there's your scoring depth. There's your wing for Krejci. Like, oh, there he is. There it is. And it's like, this is what happens every single year. I've heard year after year, Taylor Hall's coming here. Year after year, Paul Mary's coming here. We end up with something named Andre Kasha. Like this is what happens every single season. We end up with the Bruins are in on big name defenders. They're gonna sign a big name defender. Bruins signed John Moore. Like
We got Tenorti. He got a fight in. That was fun.
oh yeah, that guy that wasn't good enough to make Nashville. Oh yeah, that guy. Great, what a pickup. What
It was a good few games.
What a claim. Well, honestly, fought. Did you know Wabba? He fought in his first game, and then the Bruins turned it around and they scored a couple goals after he fought.
That was a good game.
Good because he was off the ice.
Fights.
Wasn't there another defender that was on waivers that like?
Yeah, the dude from Philadelphia, Gostisbehere.
Oh yeah, that would have been maybe cool.
That might have been nice. I don't know. Left-handed shot, skilled defenseman.
How
many?
Forget about his $5 million
defenders?
cap hit.
Right.
Forget about his $5 million. I mean, you're paying Matt Grizzlet $5 million. You might as well play Gostisbehere.
Bruins only have 1.5 free, so.
Oh.
You're gonna need. If Bruins I mean, that's what I'm saying. Come April, say the deadline is the 11th. I don't know. I probably should just look it up, but say come April 12th, it's gonna be the same exact team unless somebody eats up cap space for the Bruins. I mean, that's it.
Another reason why they can't they can't be buyers. They have no cap.
Not right now. At the end of the season, they will, because Tuukka's contract and Krejci's contract are both going to free up at the end of this year.
So they're going to be big into free agency, is what you're telling me.
No.
So
Bruins have never been big into free agency, unless they pay Taylor Hall $8 million at the end of this year to come and destroy another team.
See,
honestly,
I might be in the minority here, but I would. Probably not in the minority. I would welcome Taylor Hall, but not because, oh my God, it's Taylor Hall, number 1 overall pick. Not for that. Because I'm a firm believer that Taylor Hall is a perfect supporting actor. Like I think that's what he's made for. Can't take this. He's skilled, stupidly talented.
Put him on the second line with Stanika.
Bingo. Oh, I mean, put him on the second line in this situation with Krejci. Like if there's a number 1 trade target, it almost has.
Yeah, but
to
you're not going to get Hall with Krejci. It's not going to happen.
You have to move Rask. That's the only way you can make. Is you have to. Move
I don't know.
Rask. So therefore, it's not worth it.
Swayman and Vladar have sold me so far. Bro, they both have been playing very well with the young defensive. Usually the biggest issue for the Bruins has always been the back end. It's always been the defense and the goaltending. And honestly, I am excited for the defense and goaltending of this team going forward with what I'm been seeing this year. It's gonna be more what is like we touched on earlier. It's the secondary scoring. So I mean, if we don't bring back Tuukka, we don't bring back Krejci, and then we get
you have the money to then spend up front,
right?
If you want to, but then you also run into guys like Lozon and Zaboral and Carlo and McAvoy, who will be coming off of their restricted contracts and their entry-level contracts, so they're going to have to be paid. Like they're all going to require bumps. I think Lozon's after this year, I think is his last rookie year, so you have to sign him to one of those restricted deals like you signed Carlo to. But then it's just down the line, things that you have to think about.
Yeah,
and it's
the Seattle draft too.
Oh my God! Just leave Chris Wagner and Craig Smith and Charlie Coyle. Leave all those guys exposed. Protect your defensemen and don't let it was the other Miller. Don't let Colin Miller be exposed. How do you protect Kevin Miller and let Colin Miller be exposed and then he gets taken? Make the right decisions. And
Colin Miller has also been passed around.
Well, but at the time he was. Kevin Miller can't be passed around because nobody else wants him. The only Bruins are the only team that wants him, so he can't be passed around. Colin Miller was a much better player, in my opinion, than Kevin Miller.
I thought so too. At the time, especially.
Oh my God, Wabba thinks I got to change my take.
I know. Well, no, for real. When I heard that, I was like
I don't know.
Great. Because I just thought he was a decent player. I saw Kevin Miller. I think Kevin Miller definitely got better from that since then. But I know then he's been out for a while and it hasn't really been advantageous. And this is also with hindsight too.
Kevin Miller came back on Tuesday and played 22 minutes. The only reason why he's been out is because they want to make sure he doesn't have a re-up injury with his knee. I mean, I've been the Kevin Miller stance on this podcast since day one. I've always been, Kevin Miller, send me a jersey. I love you, bud. But I mean, like, I think Kevin Miller is a great defenseman. I think he was the missing piece for that defensive core in, what was it, 2019 run. Honestly, I think he would have. I'm not saying that was the reason why the Bruins didn't win the cup, but I think he might have been that push.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you really want a team where Kevin Miller is getting 22 minutes? Like, I don't think I want that on my team.
If he can handle it, why not?
I wanted a team where Char got 22 minutes, and look what I got.
Honestly, I'm not budging on the Char thing. I think it was the right thing to do.
Oh,
honestly.
100%.
Honestly, sorry, Wabba. I know it breaks your little heart, and too, but I still think that was the right play. Injuries and all, like lack of depth on the left hand side and all. Still the right play. Still the right move, in my opinion. But I don't want Kevin Miller getting 22 minutes. No, thank you.
I mean, in a perfect world, he wouldn't. If the whole defensive core was healthy, he would be getting 22 minutes. But
I want him and John Moore to get about the same minutes, which is about 60-ish minutes in watching from the ninth floor. Like that seems like the right. Like, I'm not a Kevin Miller fan.
John Moore, yes. Kevin Miller, no. Kevin Miller deserves to be on the ice.
Maybe I miss it. I don't know. I'm a more offensive guy anyway. Like, when I play now, I don't even go into the defensive zone. So maybe like that's why.
Oh, you're one of those guys. Wait, you don't even play.
That's true. That's a good point. That's good. Every time you ask me to play, I can't. But
he has an excuse.
COVID
hasn't stopped me.
No, I'm usually busy. I'm very busy. Very, very busy. But yeah, no, I don't want Kevin Miller getting 22 minutes on my team. I'll take it in 10, 15. Give me a solid half a period out there, and let's move on with our lives. Like, that's, I don't know. Ugh. The love for Kevin Miller. It's like the love for Trent Frederick to me. Just,
what's wrong with that? I'm a Kevin Miller stan now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Great. I've been outnumbered. Awesome.
Oh, man. 3-2.
No.
Yeah.
Swayman coming apart as we're talking about him. Quick, trash him.
Nah, 5-on-3 goals.
Two of them?
Looks like Tenorti and Lazan are in the box. I don't know what for. The first goal was just an Ovechkin from the Ovi spot that I don't care who you are, you're not saving that. And then the next one was Oshie from the Ovi spot, so on a 5-on-3. So there's literally nothing Swayman could do on both of those.
He could have saved it.
Easier said than done, Wabba. Your 99 hot goalie wouldn't even be able to save it.
Oh my! I think a lot of people would say that from anything. It doesn't have to be the OB spot.
Yeah, I mean, just you got Alex Ovechkin ripping a clapper from the OV spot. No one's stopping that. I don't care who you are.
Not on a 5-on-3. 5-on-5, 5-on-4, maybe definitely not a 5-on-3. I completely lost my train of thought and what we were even talking about before we got distracted.
Kevin Miller is great and deserves 22 minutes.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yes. Kevin Miller needs. Actually, you know what? I want him to get 30 minutes a game. What I want is for Kevin Miller never to change during the long change when he gets stuck in the defensive zone. I just want him out there at all times, killing penalties, power play, 5-on-5. I just never want him to come off. I want to staple him as far away from the bench and leave him out there and just let him play the whole second period, the whole time.
I'm glad we can do it. Something.
We've already talked about some of the young guys, but out of all of the young guys, defense, forward, goaltending, who's made the biggest impression other than Trent Frederick, Wabba?
No, I actually wasn't going to say him.
On you guys and your excitement level for their future and like an individual player's future.
I'd have to probably say Luzon. I think he's really stepped in. I mean, I know he had that little stretch where he got hurt, but when he is healthy, I think he deserves to be a top 4 defenseman on this team.
Wabba, any takers?
I was gonna say Luzon, probably up until the Swayman. I can't pronounce his name, but I like him.
Swayman? Jeremy
Sway.
Swayman?
What the goalie.
Oh yeah, the goalie. Okay.
The goalie. There's
Yeah,
4
no.
of them.
I just I mean, it's exciting when you have a young goalie that has potential, and I know we've only seen a little bit of it, but for me, that's enough to just get excited. Is he going to be the truth? We need more. We need to see more. But it's just, as a fan, it's very exciting. And I know we've been watching Luzon develop for a while. This kid kind of came out of nowhere for me. Again, I don't really pay too much attention to Providence, but the fact that he comes in, steps up when we need him, and it's like, that's just something that a fan can latch onto. So that's why I'm really excited for him.
I'm actually going to agree with you for once.
Yes! I feel like I just got the test answer right when you say that.
Well,
There was
boys,
no
it's
right or
been
wrong
fun.
answer.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
There is I mean, you're both right. Like those are both the correct answers. The correct answer is Lozon, and I would say the goaltending, like between the two of them. The thing about Vladar is everybody knows about Vladar because he's enormous. He's 6'5", so he's massive. So
boy.
everybody knows, or should, if you follow the Bruins even loosely, you should know. And he was my choice to back up Tuukka this year because I think you could have saved money and not brought back Halak and used Vladar. They get a decent. I'm pretty sure he had a decent year in Providence last year. So, but Swayman pretty much came out of nowhere to me. Also, I mean, I'm not going to tell you I'm an avid watcher of the Providence Bruins. I'll go to a game every so often when you get really bored. But the
that's the last thing I did before I hid in my bunker when I went to a Hartford Wolfpack Providence game.
Bruins game.
I watched Bolesky get in a fight for the Wolfpack.
Bolesky.
And then that was the last hockey I saw.
He's still playing.
Bolesky. Can you believe that?
Playing in Hartford.
That was such a waste of
That's
money.
tough. How do you like?
You liked my
Bolesky was a decent. He was a 30 goal scorer. Was he not?
I liked him.
Yeah, for Anaheim, and then they
When he got carried by Corey Perry and
Ryan Getzlaff.
NHL career, 158 points in his career. How do I see his year? Oh, here it is. His yearly breakdown. 22. So no, not quite 30. 22. He was never really that good. 22 and 10, 15 and 22 his first year with the Bruins.
Those two signings that you have, Matt Bolesky and Jimmy Hayes.
Yeah. Dud and dud. Man, dud and dudder. My question was going to be, how do you go from, being a 40, he played 70 games one year, 42, 40, 55, 60, 80 in the NHL, and now you're like still holding on and playing in Hartford, like out of all teams, you can't make the. Think about this for a second. He's so bad that he couldn't make the Rangers. The Rangers suck
in a redevelopment.
Yeah, the Rangers suck, but you're still holding on, doing the bus rides.
Maybe he just likes playing. I mean, and also
you can like playing and but go like
a chance to mentor. That's got to be rewarding at some level.
I don't know. To me, I think listen to me. I mean, if he's still getting paid, then I guess that doesn't. But if you get paid either way, so it doesn't matter. If you get a contract, then you get paid either way, whether you play or not. But go do like a skills camp and like hang out, and that's how you get your ice time. Like doing the bus ride, living the AHL life after you've been in the NHL for 6, 7 years. Devontae Smith-Pelly's another one. I'm pretty sure he's in the AHL.
Yeah, he's been up and down. So
after his career in the NHL, I just don't.
Some people might just like it, and who know? You never know. The one time something happens, or you're part of a trade or something like that. I don't know.
Put it this way, he's been in the NHL so long he doesn't need to wear a visor.
And
now he's going down and he's playing for the Hartford Wolfpack.
At least not so old you don't have to wear a helmet. At least it's not that bad. some 75-year-old dude just cruising around, no helmet, no bucket.
There's 7 players in the whole league that can't wear a visor anymore. And Matt Bolesky's still kicking it in Hartford. Is even in Hartford anymore? Who knows? He might have hung it up after that. He's like, COVID, not for me.
I might have seen his last one.
Yeah, you saw Matt Bolesky's last game. How does it feel?
Feels great. It was fun. They were Bruins.
We got sidetracked, but I want to talk about trade deadline stuff. But we got very, very sidetracked.
Yeah, we did.
If you want the Bruins to be buyers, I don't. So I'm not going to partake. Anybody in particular you like to see them target?
I heard Tyler Bertuzzi's name is coming up. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them take a stab at him.
My question would be, why would Detroit want to move Bertuzzi?
I don't know. I've heard his name in the rumors. I don't know if there is.
He's their best player, is he not?
No, Dylan Larkin is.
Larkin.
Anthony Mantha.
Yeah, 26-year-old Bertuzzi though. He probably more. Again, Bertuzzi's thrown around, so look at Bobby Ryan, Darren Helm. We're back to the Red Wings. Darren Helm. Like, he seems like one of their young. I'm looking at the Red Wings roster right now. They're a confusing little bunch.
They're in a full rebuild. Full rebuild.
Yeah, but then they have Bobby Ryan.
It was more of a
Mark Stahl.
Yeah,
Franz
that was a trade.
Filppula. They've got old dudes for a rebuild.
Well,
Danny DeKaiser.
A lot of so that Mark Stahl, they got Stahl and a draft pick from the Rangers. So it was more of a, hey, we'll take him.
Oh, we'll take
give
the
us your
contract,
draft pick. You know, so because we got the cap space, you know, it was more of a, all right, you know, we'll give us a little. So, yeah. I mean, Yzerman's in a full rebuild. I mean, that team is 100% is starting over. Bobby Ryan was more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a kind of a rebirth, I guess. Can, you know, get out of Ottawa, that situation that up there. So go to Detroit, you know, play under Yzerman, who is, you know, took that too. I mean, that Tampa team that won the Stanley Cup, Yzerman pretty much built, handed it over to the GM, was like, here you go, don't mess it up. And then went to Detroit because, you know, I mean, he played his whole career in Detroit. Yeah, and he's gonna do the same thing again in Detroit that he just did in Tampa.
Yeah. Wabba, do you have any targets you'd like to see them try and get at the deadline?
I don't think so, which is weird because I'm still hopeful, but like it's like you said, if they don't move Krejci, if they don't move Tuukka, they don't have a lot to play with, so they got to get somebody who's like in the middle. And I don't know what piece you try to get.
To me, you have to get either a centerman or a winger.
I like the Hall idea, but I have no idea how they make that work.
Yeah. I said I wasn't going to partake. I changed my mind. The like, shocking. I mean, honestly, what you need is depth up front. You don't want to touch your defensive core right now because they're fine. They're young. You know what you're going to get out of them. They're fine. So you need maybe some leadership and some scoring on a wing or center. Like maybe like a Dustin Brown, maybe type of player like that, where been in the league a little bit, can shoot, plays the wing. Adam Henrique from the Ducks can play center. Maybe that increases, and you just need something. And if you're going to try and go for it, you need to do something. You can't just sit pat and think that, oh, I'm going to get healthy, and then all of a sudden you're going to figure it out. Like,
do you know who you just described? Being on the wing, veteran leadership, been in the league. Matt Bolesky. You like straight up just described. Right.
And all those plays you've said have been health bombs. You know, ran through waivers. Like,
yeah, I mean it's. But still, if you look at it right now, like Adam Henrique, you take him on your third line over Charlie Coyle in the middle. I would.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, they've done deals with Anaheim, so it's not like, they have a history with that team, so that might not be a bad one to work with.
And then
Coyle just needs to get out of this funky. Then he just, once he does,
Coyle to the wing. You get him for center. You move Coyle to the wing.
Why can't you do?
I think he's a better
Stanika at center and put Coyle on the wing.
Stanika's not even playing. He's on the taxi squad. Not even playing.
I know, which maybe I think Stanika and Senyshyn both should be playing, but
I'm not disagreeing. You're going young. Why not go young?
Right, and they need to get rid of DeBrusk. They need to move him. I mean, you know what? You got that. You signed him for that contract. Now get something for him. because he just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's in his own head. He needs to see like a sports psychiatrist or what, but he needs to either get out of this funk or a change of scenery. But
Who's that? I'm sorry. Oh, DeBrusque.
DeBrusque.
100%. Well, I don't even like talking about DeBrusque because then we have to go down the list of the freaking players that got drafted just after those guys, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, I have to do it every episode. It feels like.
I know.
But like, it's just like.
I mean, this has been a topic of conversation every time we've talked. I mean, it's been what 2 months, 3 months since the last time we talked, and it's still things haven't changed. We're still talking about how DeBrusque has 2 goals on the year, where he's supposed to be our next top goal scorer after Pasternak, and he literally can't get out of his own way.
I just had the stats up. You see things like when you saw the emergence of Pasternak coming, you were like, this dude, he's a little rough, needs a little fine tuning, but this dude can score. This guy's got it. This guy's going to be the guy in a couple of years, and that's the same hype you had around DeBrusque, and it feels like it has gone in the exact opposite direction. You're like, this
100%.
guy blows. 7 points, 3 goals on the season.
Oh, sorry,
I think he's talented. I just don't. Maybe he's not a good fit here. And we've seen other players who have left the Bruins organization and succeeded other places, whether they were still doing well here or where they weren't. So and we've seen that with other players as well around the league. So maybe it's just that he's not a good fit and he needs a different scheme or whatever the case is.
Well, that's. At any point, at what point do you need to look internally? I'm not saying I want to fire Cassie. I want to move on from Cassie. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, like, at what point do you say, well, you know what? It's this player is not working in this particular system, and it's just time. Like and heaven forbid you change the system.
I mean, the system's been working. They're
a
winning team. They're making the playoffs.
Agreed.
I'd understand if they were missing playoffs.
Down,
right.
But I think they're doing the right thing. I just don't think he fits that. Like, going with the young guys, having that like veteran, first line. I know Pasta's still young, but you know what I mean. And it's like he's kind of stuck in the middle where he's not part of that, the veteran core that's scoring, and he's not part of the young crew that's developing. It seems like he's developed here, and I think he's plenty talented. Like, that's the thing, kind of like a Taylor Hall situation where it's like the guy's talented. It's just he hasn't found the right fit, and maybe right now it's not the right fit, right time.
It almost like it. You know how you always go through, and when a team has struggles or has problems, you go through and you say, like, who do you blame? Happens with the Patriots all the time. Happens with the Celtics all of the time. The Celtics start to struggle. Do you blame the coach? Do you blame the players? Do you blame the GM? Who do you blame in that situation? And for the Bruins, to me, I think it's the players is who I'm blaming for the lack of the depth, because I'm not blaming the GM, who's done a pretty good job for the most part, on finding a need and bringing a player. It may not always be the player that you want, but we always say you need to have Krejci needs a winger who's going to shoot. They brought in Nash. Didn't work out. They brought in Nash. They brought in Kasha. Rick Nash, not Riley Nash. Rick Nash. They brought in Kasha. Like they identify the need and then they go out and get it. We need bigger guys to play the system. They go out and they get Coyle, big player. They went out and get Richie, big player. They went out and got the guy from Nashville.
Kinordi.
Craig Smith.
Sorry.
Bigger player. They get they recognize what they need for the coach's system, the coach's style, and then you look at you were complaining about depth scoring. Coyle, DeBrusque, Krejci. I already forgot the guy's name.
Smith
from Nashville. Smith.
It's like the most common name.
Yeah, right.
You look at those guys.
You could have guessed and you would have gotten it right.
Seriously, Mr. Smith, whatever his name is, and you look at those guys, and those guys are the type of players that should be depth pieces, and they're just not doing it. So, to me, if you're splitting that blame pie up, it's got to be on the players, majority first and foremost.
I think it's the players for sure, especially this year, because there are people succeeding on the team, and some of them are brand
Bergeron,
new.
Marchand, Pasternak. I would argue Richie's having a successful
Richie's
season.
sick.
Krejci gets a lot of hate because to me, Krejci doesn't score as much as he should, but the dude is an assist machine. The dude is probably the best passer on the team.
Yeah.
He gets no love. Has no help.
He does sometimes in the playoffs, but only when he does good things. When he doesn't, everybody hears about it for sure.
The thing about Krejci
Krejci
being the playoff point leader, blah, 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 blah. What's skewed about that stat? Okay, let me be negative. What's skewed about that stat, Wabba? They had 4 Game 7s that year, or 3 Game 7s that year. They played the most games out of anybody in the whole.
I'm sorry, I didn't know we were manipulating statistics.
Oh, yeah, no. We should just take all statistics at face value. That's definitely what we should do.
Oh, definitely.
Trent Frederick. But no, players do succeed, and you just look at your first line is literally known throughout the league as the perfection line. So players succeed in the system. So it's not the system. And I just gave you examples of how they identify needs and go out and get them. Then the players themselves just don't work. And maybe some of it's players. Some players have a tough time playing. That's a mouthful in Boston. And it's every sport. It's a major market, a major city. I mean, there's schlubs who sit in their house or Chili's and do podcasts about the teams. So I mean, it's a tough place to play, and maybe that plays part of it. I don't know, but I basically just posed the question and then answered it. Who do you blame for the lack of success? What do you guys think?
I mean, I agree with you. And it's just like, obviously, especially this year with all the injuries that the Bruins have dealt with, and Cassie continues to put out a roster that is winning games. They are still winning games. They're 8-2 in their last 10 or something like that, or 6-2 in their last 8. I forget.
6-2-2 in their last 10.
Okay, I mean that's what do you, quick math? What do you get? 8 out of a potential? What's that? Wow, I'm doing bad math right now.
out of a potential 20 points,
you getting 14 of them.
You're getting 14.
Yeah,
it's a good percentage.
Good. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're a good team. Sorry, go ahead.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's obviously not the coaching, because the coaching is putting in the right system for anyone that does step into this lineup to succeed. It's the players that are just, they got to figure it out. And whether it's, this year they're not getting their normal, routine, game day routines, because everyone has to be separated because of COVID predictions. But I mean, I could see that for maybe like Coyle and I don't know, some of these other players. But I mean, this whole DeBrusk thing has gone back to last year before COVID. He's been struggling for 2 years now.
He's been on a steady decline.
Which is sad to say, because he's only been in the league for 4 years?
Yeah, but he was pretty. I mean, he was. I don't want to say good. Good. Well, I will say good. He was good, not great, a couple years ago, and since then, it's just been a steady decline.
I think we'll get a Kraken DeBrusk jersey.
Potential.
I don't know if he's eligible. He might still be on his restricted
contract.
Restricted contract.
Stupid comparison. He is in the NHL franchise mode, so that's the only reason I ask, because I don't actually know.
Oh, maybe
so
he
I'm going by
maybe
game. And
maybe
again, that's the worst.
I mean,
finding way.
I'm looking. I just look because I was.
But if he is, imagine he's good. He's good. The talent's
because
there.
he just signed a new contract,
well.
so he's
eligible.
He should be eligible.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe
he's on his he was on his restricted, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Maybe he's a good person to expose. He's definitely an attractive, candidate for that. And honestly, I will root for him there because I want him to do well. And it just maybe he isn't here.
43 points, 42 points, 35.7 points. So I said steady decline. I wasn't wrong, but last year, he wasn't good last year, but the difference between last year and this year is catastrophic. The right word? Like,
when Trent Frederick has almost as many points as Jake DeBrusk,
yeah, you got a problem there.
That's
You
your
got a
fourth
real
liner to
problem.
your second liner, so
Yeah.
we got an issue.
But it's like the thing about DeBrusk is it's like at least Frederick, Wabba earmuffs. At least Frederick, like he brings energy. Like he does. He brings.
He has a
he
role.
Does bring.
He
He
has
does
a
have a
role, and he's playing that role.
Yeah, DeBrusk doesn't even do that. Frederick
No.
may only. What was I chirping him for? 5 points. He's got 5 points. Had like 50-something penalty minutes.
He's playing
DeBrusk
role.
has
He's
7.
playing that agitator role. He's
Most points, most
mucking
penalty
it
minutes.
up.
Yeah, DeBrusk 7 points, 2 penalty minutes. It's not like he's playing a goon type role or rolling around. The crazy part: 3 goals on the year, 2 power play goals. He scored 1 even strength goal this season. 1. That's horrible. That's worse than I ever could have imagined. That's horrendous.
It's not good.
I honestly didn't. I was just looking at it now. I didn't realize that. That's next level bad.
And he's been health bombed a lot this year too. For somebody who's supposed to be your second line winger, supposed to be that scorer for Krejci, and he's getting health bombed. I'm pretty sure he's playing on the third line tonight. Nick Ritchie has taken his spot on the second line.
Bad.
I mean, we could spend another hour just ripping on Jake DeBrusk. I mean, if you want to see something, maybe at the trade deadline, maybe that's it. Maybe move DeBrusk for something. Because it's obviously it's not working.
The only issue I would have with that is you're selling so low.
I would say expose him for the expansion draft.
You're not getting anything.
Yeah, you're not getting
all you're
anything
doing
cool.
is you're taking his contract.
But you're not.
That's it.
But you're not losing someone else who might be a good piece. Now again, that might be for the next episode to talk about. What's the expansion draft going to look like and who should they expose and protect. But I don't know. I think that's such a good, obviously good pick for Seattle, and I just think that's a good thing for the Bruins. I mean, he doesn't have a crazy contract, but like.
Honestly, you might be onto something here because you're not. Because to me, if they were to trade him for, half a bag of pucks, because
what are you gonna get like a third, fourth round? I mean, how well have the Bruins done in those rounds?
Yeah.
He was a first round pick? Yeah. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was in that pick.
Well, yeah, we're not getting into that, but it's so. I mean, it's. I don't know. That's kind of what I foresee. Is it what I like? I don't know, but it's just how I see it going down.
Yeah, you truthfully, you might be onto something there because it could be a perfect scenario for everybody, including DeBrusk.
Everyone wins.
You're right. Changes scenery. Seattle gets a young player. The Bruins get out from the actually they probably won't ever get out of the mishandle of the pick, but they get out from the player and everybody just kind of resets and restarts.
And then I'll get to buy Kraken DeBrusk jerseys.
And then you also don't lose something that might be beneficial to you, like as much as he hasn't been good, Charlie Coyle has been better than Jake DeBrusk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you don't lose a hometown kid, you lose a number 17 pick, and that's where we're at with Jake DeBrusk, which is extremely sad and disappointing because Matt Barzal's lighting it up with the Islanders, and you have to see him seemingly every other game.
Not bitter.
Yeah, I'm not bitter at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. You ever hear this kid Brock Besser play? You ever seen him play? Or heard of him?
No, because they don't play anymore.
Yeah.
Not to make light of that. I'm very concerned about them, but they
he plays with your boy Bo Horvat.
The Bo Show.
But anyway, I don't want to get off track. But the last thing I do want to talk about, actually, now that you mention it, oh yeah, there it is right there, the Bo Show. You just have that in a Chili's? Why is that in your Chili's?
I'm a consummate professional. I mean, like, what do you expect? This is my content space.
What do you have in a booth at Chili's? Why do you have a Bo Horvat and a hype train whistle? What is going on in that Chili's?
Things have changed, man. It's been 3 months. We're going all out. We're going crazy in our bunker. All right.
He's the only one in there. They locked the door on him.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen a single person walk by
there's a bar behind you with no bartender. There's nobody tending that bar behind you.
Serve my own drinks.
You bring up the Vancouver thing, which is wild right now, to say the least. What's going on in the Vancouver dressing room? But overall, how do you feel the NHL has handled the second wave, the second season of COVID. Like in general, there's been a full season, for the most part. I mean, yes, shortened, but still a full season. There's no shutdown in the middle of this year. This is their second go at it. How do you think they've handled it?
I mean, I think they've done a good job. I mean, as well as they can. I mean, they're trying to take every precaution as they can. What was it, the Vegas Golden Knights game the other night? They pulled the coach off the bench in the middle of the second period because he ended up getting a positive test. I mean, they're just trying to remove as many people as possible. I mean, I think things probably get a little bit better as I think the COVID shot is being more available to everyone. I know they did say he already had both his shots, the Vegas Golden Knights coach, Dubois. But they still had they thought it was a false positive test. But they still gotta, take every step, every precaution possible.
I think they've been doing terrific, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've been doing well.
I mean, has it impacted the season that much? Again, outside Vancouver, it's not like teams aren't being shut down. I feel like games aren't being heavily influenced. Even if it was being influenced, that's just how it is.
You had the Stars at the beginning of the season that they had a delay. I want to say it was 10 days before they got started.
Yeah. Them and the Panthers.
Panthers had the same thing. Now Vancouver's going through it. And overall, I mean, now you're starting to see fans come back into some of these stadiums and stuff. So, but they're doing a good job on keeping them away from the player. Like no one's near the ice. No one's near the not like the Rangers open their stadium at full capacity. Texas Rangers baseball.
Oh, I was like,
full capacity, like 40
for one game, wasn't it?
40. It was the opening, the first game.
It was the opening game, and then they were like, "Oh, well, we're gonna go back to 30%."
Brand new stadium. It's like 47,000.
But then again, I mean, not to be surprised, the Florida Panthers and the Dallas Stars, Florida and Texas both had to start the season behind because of COVID. I mean, they've both those states have been
lenient.
Yeah, lenient, very lenient, to say the least. I mean, no shocker there why those two teams started late.
Right. And now it's happening in Vancouver. The Bruins saw 5 days or whatever. I give a lot of credit to the players, honestly, because it's something where the responsibility really falls on them. The league is doing everything that they can. They're keeping guys. The locker rooms are all spread out, and there's limited practice. There's limited interaction between the players outside of you. There's no interaction between the players outside of your division. So the nice thing is that if it runs wild in a division, it doesn't spread throughout the league. It spreads throughout the division. That whole division can shut down or stop, or one team. And you have Vancouver not being able to play for the 2 weeks, and they probably were only going to play 2 or 3 teams in those 2 weeks. So now they just make up the games as they go along, and there's not a ton of practice time, so guys they don't have the opportunity to interact. But it's really, to me, it's really the players. They're sacrificing, quote, not going out, not doing things, not being crazy on the road, and you haven't really seen it run wild because of things like that. And I think everybody has done a pretty good job of containing and taking it seriously so that they can continue to play. And I think that's everybody, the league, the players, coaches, staff, everybody. I think it's been a really good thing.
And also, too, it doesn't require the bubble, which I know, again, it worked, but it was putting a lot of stress on players, for out of hockey things. So this is a great compromise to maintain their safety and allow hockey to continue.
Yeah, but please get back to normal because I don't want to see the same teams anymore. Please.
I think
this is going to help us. This is going to help it.
Please. Yeah, no, you're right.
I bet we're going to see everything normal. I mean, at least in the US.
Normal-ish. It'll probably be back to full capacity. Hopefully we can see full, and Canada restricts they already knocked it down from 14 days to 7 because you see someone like Pierre-Luc Dubois get traded to the Jets and then not be able to play for 2 weeks because he's got a quarantine before he can even join the team. That's tough. That's a tough look. But be that as it may, But yeah, pretty good job, I would say, overall by the NHL. Hats off to them, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, the only
anything-
thing they did, I know they already extended the end of the season till mid-May, I think. So it's just gonna be another shortened off season.
Good. So there's plenty of news. You hit the draft. You hit the
Expansion draft.
you hit the expansion draft. You hit the actual draft.
Free
you hit the
agency,
free agency.
and
It's
then
all compounded and everything's good.
hopefully,
Everything's good to go.
Hopefully training camp starts right up in September. The season
Yeah, and
starts beginning of October.
And you have a full season next season.
Yep.
Honestly, that's the goal, I would say.
That's what they're shooting for. I mean, I know the beginning of this year, Gary Bettman even said he's like, this is kind of a one and done division thing. He's like, and then we'll move on from there.
Thank goodness.
Best decision Gary Bettman has ever made.
Seriously. Yeah, you're not kidding. Anything else you guys want to discuss before we do our sign-offs?
Let's not wait 3 months before we do this again.
We say this every single time. Let's meet sooner. Let's meet sooner. And then
I think that we have one probable cause of that.
Who?
I don't leave my house.
If you're watching the
Wabba's
YouTube, you can see the
Wabba-
guy looking over his shoulder.
Wabba's done 900 Three Dads in a podcast, and
Right.
we've done 0 episodes. So.
I've done like days of content. I'm ready. I'm warmed up. Tell me the time and place. I'll talk about whatever you want me to talk about. Well, I'm not. I can't talk Celtics because I don't understand the rules of basketball. But anything else, I'm in.
I didn't understand the rules of basketball.
I don't know. I never got into it.
Interesting.
Actually, I was so bad back in like the day that I was on the best team for the 2 years I played like middle school basketball because I was like the one, and by one I mean the worst. So I got 2 giant trophies in the 2 years I played. Or maybe I carried the team with my 3 points, my Trent Frederick numbers. So go figure.
It was you were the energy guy.
I was
brought-
not.
you
I
were-
have, I have no
fighting
physical
everybody
energy.
out there.
No physical energy. I was winded by the 5th minute.
Classic Wabba. Ryan, you have anything else you want to discuss before we pop off?
I think I'm good.
Very good.
I think we hit pretty much everything that we needed to.
This is the moment I've been waiting for, because now that it's going to go onto YouTube, people can actually see what I always talk about, what Wabba does when he signs off. This is my favorite part of every single recording.
when he gets into his streamer voice.
When he pops on the streamer voice, pops on the streamer persona, and stares deeply into the camera for absolutely nobody.
It's out of practice, dude.
Because nobody can
muscle
see
memory,
him.
man.
Nobody can see him, but he
Now they can.
always does it.
Now they can.
Now they can. So, Wabba,
Yes.
where can people talk to you?
It's habit. You can find me at twitch.tv/WabbaPlays. We're actually, go check me and Big Country out this week because we're playing in the GWC. This is like the big money tournament that I'm not going to win, but I'm going to do well for clout. You can also find me at YouTube, Instagram, Twitter at WabbaPlays.
Why? Why do you have a train whistle?
Because you got to go to twitch.tv/WabbaPlays to find out.
Got to get the hype train going. It's all about the hype train. Ryan, go.
You can find me over on twitch.tv, BigCountry7914. You can find me also at YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I've been posting a lot more on those platforms than Twitch. So make sure you... Hey, yo, everybody loves the gamer videos.
Travis, such a boomer.
Check out my sweet dangles over on TikTok. Where I just absolutely dangle an entire team and then undress a goaltender. So, actually, I'm going to be starting to post some IRL hockey videos on those platforms as well. So, keep an eye out for those. Yeah, I got a GoPro. I'm going to be strapping it to my chest.
Need the invite.
No, absolutely not. All right. I invited you for like 4 months straight.
No lies. It was like 3 weeks.
Yeah, because you kept saying no, so I stopped.
Send the invite. He's not wrong. He's correct. Yeah, that did happen.
Even the times we were desperate and we needed players, he was like, "Nah, sorry, I can't." Even I'm like,
he just wants you to ask so he can disappoint you and say no.
yeah,
every time.
I'll send you the text and then immediately write no underneath so you don't have to respond. And also make sure you guys, if you are listening to this podcast on whatever platform you do, make sure you go to the Boston Sports Syndicate YouTube page. I will be putting up all of the Bleed Black and Gold videos. Maybe do a couple snips of the full-length video, make them into shorts. And if you are watching the YouTube right now, you can see Trav rocking our Boston Sports Syndicate merch. So you make sure you go find that out. I'll send it over to Trav to tell you exactly where you can get that.
www.bostonsportssyndicate.com. Articles, merch store, links to all of the podcasts. Already pre-dedicated playlists. So if you only want to hear, the boys for the Bleed Black and Gold, you can click the Bleed Black and Gold page, and it'll play all of the Bleed Black and Gold episodes. And that's the best way to find it. And if you don't want to do that and you want to listen to Celtic one, Above the Parquet, you click that page, boom, playlist, all of the Above the Parquet, and the great job that those guys do. Find that on our website. You can also find us on Twitter at Boston Sports SYN. You can also find us on Instagram at Boston Sports SYN. Cannot confirm, but still going to plug it anyway. SeatGeek has started selling tickets again. Unconfirmed if the code works, but try it anyway. Code BSS at logout. You'll save yourself $10 off your first purchase. And as we always say, limit to 1 per email. I don't know how many emails you guys got. Perfectly timed wink. Classic. But yeah, Twitter, Instagram, SeatGeek.com, code BSS. And that should pretty much do it. So thank you guys for listening. You too, thank you for joining me. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Go Bruins.